Now it's more about like aggressively talented female singer-songwriters.
Which I think is great.
Right, of course, of course. Oh, they're here.
This dialogue from the new Anne Hathaway movie, The Idea of You, really does represent the current pop scene today. There are a lot of successful, young pop female songwriters and singers like Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo, Tyla Seethel, Tate McRae, Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, etc. But when thinking about their male counterparts that are around the same age, I can't really think of any besides Conan Gray, Lil Nas X, Shawn Mendes, Khalid, and Joshua Bassett, who are very talented well-known writers. However, I feel there is this insurgence of new female songwriters who seem to be idolized amongst teens and young fanbases more than their male counterparts. Meanwhile, 10 to 15 years ago, the biggest pop stars were Justin Bieber, One Direction, Jonas Brothers, 5SOS, etc., and I felt these young male stars permeated the mainstream scene so much more at the time. I've noticed a lot of the present young Western fan base went to K-pop for male groups, but there are still a lot of popular female K-pop groups and of course new popular mainstream female musicians. I've also noticed a lot of those millennial male celebrities that were famous in the late 2000s and early 2010s continued their fame and their fans grew with them. They also still have young fans today, like Harry Styles. But I still wonder why there aren't as many prominent new male Gen Z pop stars directed to a younger audience. It might have to do with the oversaturation of young male pop stars in the late 2000s and early 2010s, so naturally there was a shift to supporting more female musicians. That's not to say that there wasn't successful young female musicians during that time. There were many, but I just think that the pop scene today is definitely dominated a bit more with female artist visibility, as an older Gen Z who watched this happen in real time. With social media and smartphones permeating every single part of our lives now, there is varied content and different subcultures. There are so many famous celebrities and influencers as opposed to a decade ago, where media outlets focused on fewer celebrities. There is also a lot of scrutinized shame of being a preteen and having interests, especially if the musicians you support are men. An example is the general public bullying Justin Bieber just because so many young girls were fans of him when he started out. So I theorize one of the reasons why so many girls have gone into K-pop for male groups is have their own interests and be able to support male musicians without it being that scrutinized in Western media. Of course K-pop has its own unfair scrutinization, but in my opinion, it wasn't as scrutinized as popular pop male artists before, which permeated everywhere in the mainstream scene. I've just been waiting for male pop stars being compared to the hype of artists from the previous century, like the Beatles and Michael Jackson, but the last time that's happened was BTS.